So the Healthy Lifestyle Management Plan Part B assignment is 5 questions that you need to write in I first person statements because it is a reflection of the personal progress that you have made since your Healthy Lifestyle Management Plan Part A. So if you remember, you wrote that about 6 weeks ago, and you told me that you were going to make one change. You were going to get to sleep earlier or reduce the amount of time you spent on your smartphone, or you wanted to eat more fruits, or you wanted to exercise more, or you wanted to make some more friends, and practice more extroversion. Whatever the case is, now is time to write about how you did. And by the way, I will not be grading you and giving you a mark on whether you succeeded in your plan or not. And most people don't actually succeed in their plan this first time. I'm looking for more so, what have you learned? If you weren't successful, why? What did you learn about yourself? Where did you fall off the rails? So let me walk you through step by step each of the questions. The first one asks you to restate your SMART goal from the first assignment. So no big deal. You've been talking about it all throughout the semester, right? Every time you wrote one of those habit change check-ins. But be careful. This is not a SMART goal. Oops. To lose weight. And I still spelled weight wrong. To lose weight is not a SMART goal. It's a general idea, right? A SMART goal is making sure to let me know the specifics. So a SMART goal might sound like this: to lose 5 pounds of fat within 3 months by going to the gym 3 times a week. So now I've incorporated the specific, the measurable, the time frame, and a little bit of the action, the realistic, attainable action steps as well. The next part of question 1 is to let me know what were some of the issues or barriers that you encountered along the way that made it challenging for you to fulfill your goal. And so you can tell me just a brief story or give me a little bit of context as to what might have been going on. Excuse me 1 second. Bottom crisper vegetable drawer. Can you not interrupt me again, please, until after? Sure. Thank you, honey. Sorry. I have a sick kid at home. So it might be a barrier that came up was time management, right? And the amount of volume that you had to deal with. So you're too busy. You planned to go to the gym after school most days, but actually didn't get home until 10 o'clock at night. By then the gym was closed. So that's a barrier. As well, this person had planned to work with a trainer, but then found out that the trainer cost $65 an hour. So money was another barrier. For some people, the barrier could be, I got injured, I got sick, I ended up taking a new course that, conflicted with the timing that I thought. But oftentimes the barrier is just that they just didn't have the motivation and the time management to stay with it. Whatever the case may be for you, let me know. On rare occasions, people say they don't encounter any barriers. When it comes to an assignment, you have to think critically, so you have to dig a little deeper. Everyone experiences some kind of barriers. Even if you still succeeded in your goal, there were probably some things that got in your way. You just figured out how to overcome them. So that's question number 1. Number 2 asks you to reflect on your action steps. And so you're going to remind me and yourself what those action steps were. So for this person, the 4 action steps were getting a trainer, working out 3 times a week, taking an aerobics class on Mondays, and buying a new pair of shoes. And then you can let me know a little bit about, like, did you do those action steps? Did you not do the action steps? Which ones did you do? So for this one, she did buy new shoes. She did go to some of the aerobics classes, but she didn't end up going to the gym 3 times a week and didn't get a trainer. And then the second part of question 2 is, then let me know, did you succeed in your goal? So did you lose 5 pounds of excess body fat or whatever your goal was? And if you had a goal that was meant to last longer than 6 weeks, then are you on track to succeeding in your goal? Is your trajectory on track? So this person might have said to me, I I didn't actually lose any weight. And if I keep going the way I currently am, I don't believe I will succeed in my goal. Okay, so that's her example response to me. The third question is all about effort, the amount of effort that you put in. So you give yourself a number between 1 and 5, 1 being the lowest effort possible and 5 being the greatest effort possible. So I'll say 2. This person believes she put in a 2. And then you're going to explain to me a little bit about why you put in the effort that you did. And I want to underscore, because this is one of the areas where people tend to lose marks because they get mixed up between telling me the success, like, no, I didn't lose any weight, I didn't do the action steps, and I actually gained weight. That is part of question 2, but it's not really part of question 3, which is to have you look at your effort level, right? The commitment, like, did you show up? Did you not show up? So, for example, they said to me, this example said to me, I didn't go to the gym enough. I had the action step of going 3 times a week, but I never made it on time. I didn't find the gym buddy to accompany me. So frankly, I didn't put in enough effort. I realized I wasn't making workouts a priority, and I wasn't willing to sacrifice that relaxation time in the evenings when I got home from the school, right? Because remember, up here, they said to me they didn't end up getting home until 10 p.m. And just the thought of going back out was just not motivating enough. And as well, they underestimated just how much exercise and consistency they would need to do. And they prioritized studying over exercising. So again, I want to emphasize, I'm not judging you on this. Like if I was reading this, I wouldn't be like, oh, lazy person didn't prioritize exercise. Not at all. In fact, I love that you are going deeper to understand what motivates you and what doesn't motivate you. But I do want you to think about effort when it comes to this question. Really stop and think, why didn't I put in a lot of effort? And sometimes, not as often, but sometimes people actually did put in a lot of effort. And so then you want to explain why. Why did you put in effort? Maybe because after you started going to the gym, this hypothetical example, right? This person, they actually felt great. And it snowballed into having more energy and wanting to go more. So they could have said to me, like, the effort became easier and easier each time I showed up to the gym. As well, within a couple of weeks, I'd made a few friends and we enjoyed going to the gym at the same time together. So that also made it more enjoyable and more of a social activity for me. So I kept showing up. So regardless of whether it's a positive or negative experience, it's about really reflecting on critically and then explaining to me your effort level. Okay, next comes question 4, and really I consider this the heart of the assignment. It's based on your part A plan and the behavior concepts that you learned in chapter 1. So if you remember back in week 2, when I set you up for this assignment, we looked at how you get ready to make a behavior change. You gather data, analyze the data, then you work on your motivation to change, then you draft a goal, and then create action steps, and then you build your self-efficacy, all of that when it comes to behavior change. Now I want you to think critically about what you've learned about yourself and your habits and what motivates you. And with that in mind, summarize what you would change in order to be more successful going forward. So just like all the questions that came before, I want this to be a continuation of what you've written so far. Like each question builds on the question before, right? So this person didn't succeed. They got really busy. money was a barrier. They did some of their action steps, but not all. They weren't willing to prioritize exercise over being able to relax, right? And so what would they change? Well, this is an example I prepared of what they might say. Based on my experience over the last 6 weeks, I've learned that I'm not motivated by just telling myself, go to the gym. And also that cost is a barrier for me. Therefore, next time, I want to adapt my action steps to reflect more accessible exercise, meaning being able to exercise without having to get up and go to the gym, and also doing the kind of exercise that doesn't require money. And you might even say, I know myself better, and without these barriers, I will likely be more successful at following through with exercise. Right? For someone else, it might be, I need friends. I need to go out and play like, you know, drop in basketball because I'm a really social person. I've learned that that's what motivates me. Or maybe it's, I need to actually not focus on exercise at all. I need really to think about reducing my amount of fast food and ultra processed food. It depends, right? It always depends on the individual. And so your very last question then is to create a SMART goal, of course. Now, for most of you, if you found that you haven't been particularly successful in your first plan, right? And everything tells me so far you haven't been successful in your plan, then likely this answer, question 5, will be a repeat of your original SMART goal. The difference will be that you will tweak it or modify it to incorporate what you've learned. So, for example, our person we've been working with still wants to lose 5 pounds of excess body fat. But this time I think, yeah, okay, to lose excess body fat. And they still want to lose 5 pounds. And they're going to maybe give themselves a bit more time though, right? Instead of 3 months now, they're going to give themselves within 6 months because they've learned that, you know, they've got a really busy schedule and it takes time. But the key difference here is through workouts at home that don't cost money, source YouTube, as well as taking free Zumba classes at the park, and finding friends to come work out with me, right? And the realistic first step might be creating a playlist of free YouTube workout videos and organizing my schedule, so that I can free up some time for workouts around my school schedule. What's great about this answer and why I will give this person top marks now is because I can see that they're making the connection between the very beginning, right? Way up here, the barriers, as well as, you know, what motivates them and their effort. And to finally down here, how are they going to do it differently? Well, they're going to choose things that'll set them up to be more successful, right? And for a few of you, you will have been successful with your behavior change plan. And so you won't need to have the exact same SMART goal again. In your case, you can create a new SMART goal. So let's say somebody had the plan of wanting to get more sleep, right? They were only getting about 5 hours of sleep. And after these 6 weeks, through action steps, they have been successful in getting close to 6.5 hours of sleep, and they're feeling really good. So then for them, they might answer this last question with, now that I am sleeping better, I want to start to focus on eating better. So I am going to develop a SMART goal that incorporates, reducing the amount of fast food that I eat and instead eating 2 to 3 healthy home cooked meals per week. And finally, I always like to gently remind people to double check their work for basic spelling and grammar errors. Try and make it as clean as possible.